Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video at my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm going to be using this stamp set from W+9 called Kind Soul. Now this one was sent to me by Dawn, the owner of W+9, so I don't have like the actual sheet that has it printed on it. She sent it to me as a sample and it's such a beautiful stamp set, I really wanted to use it. So I'm using some Saunders Waterford watercolor paper. It's a very luscious, thick, kind of creamy watercolor paper. I placed that into my Misty stamping tool, and now I'm stamping that really large floral stamp using some antique linen distress ink. And I'm using antique linen ink because it's a very light, kind of faded yellow color. I'm going to be doing some no line coloring on this image, and I really want the lines to be really faint. Now I'm going to be painting this with very light colors, so the lines will still appear in the final result. However, because it's a lighter line, it won't be as apparent. I'm using some Mission Gold watercolors today, and I'm just going to start in with all of the painting. And the technique that I'm sort of using here at the beginning is kind of using clean, clear water to paint in the areas on the flower, and then I'm going to drop in some really faint color. I saw a picture on Instagram of some watercoloring, and I was just so inspired by the really light colors that this particular artist had used on her flowers, and I thought I wanted to give this a try. So to be completely honest, I almost didn't share this card with you guys because I wasn't completely in love with how it ended up, but it still looked pretty good. So I thought I would go ahead and share it with you guys today. So this very first flower that I painted here, actually I think it turned out the best out of all of them, but I am going to show you the rest of the flowers as well. I'm going to speed up the process here and turn on some music, and I will catch up with you after I finish all of the painting. So after all of the painting was finished, I peeled off my piece here. I just removed that blue painter's tape from the board, and then I was able to trim down this piece. And I'm going to do some die cutting. I'm using the coordinating die that goes with this image, and I'm only going to be cutting the top portion. So I'm going to position this in my Big Shot machine so that the bottom half, which I don't want to cut, is hanging out of this sandwich. And what this does is it only allows the section that's inside that sandwich to be cut. So I'm only cutting the top portion. So I'm going to trim down the sides of this so that it's 4 1/4 wide. And then I'm going to be adhering it to some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock. I've used that as the card base and scored it at 5 1/2. And I'm going to do some stamping before I adhere that. I've got the Hello stamp from that stamp set, and I'm using some smoky gray VersaFine ink. And I'm using the smoky gray as opposed to my usual Onyx black because it's a lighter shade, and I thought black would be a little bit too stark with the light painting on this piece. I'm using some Tombow Extreme adhesive to adhere this down onto that card base, and I'm just making sure I have quite a bit of adhesive since this is watercolor paper and it will tend to want to pull up a little bit. So that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back very soon with some swatches and comparisons of some Finetec watercolors. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.